An important part of Holy Week is learning what our relationship to Jesus is. Both what it is apart from him and what it is through him. And a very important text for that is Matthew chapter 26, verses 20 through 29. And this takes place in the upper room as Jesus is celebrating his final meal with his disciples. And during that meal, Jesus turns and looks at his disciples and he says, "Truly, truly, I say to you, one of you will betray me." And then they get sad. They get sad, right, that Jesus would say this about them. And they say, "Is it I, Lord?" Now, in the original language, that "I" implies a no answer. So it's sort of like, it's not me, is it, Jesus? No, of course it's not me. And then Jesus gives this other answer. He says, "He who has dipped his hand in the dish with me will betray me." Now, if you're like me, of course, you would probably read that and think, well, then I just wouldn't stick my hand in the dish and I'd be okay. But remember that in this society and culture, they were common dishes. People were reaching their hands in and out all the time. And so Jesus here sort of looks at all of his disciples and he basically says, like, all of you will betray me. And they all did, right? Not all of them were Judas. But all of them fled and ran away. Peter denied him. They all betrayed him. And that's important for us this week. It's important for us today because all of us tend to have a prideful, heroic image of ourselves. We think, I wouldn't have left Jesus. I would have stood with him. I'm better than them. I am capable. Right? We all have this idea that in ourselves we can produce the kind of response that we always need to act righteously. And what Jesus does in this meal is expose to us our own frailty and fear and problems. We are not able to stand with Jesus apart from his grace. One of you will betray me. And as we look at our own lives, my friends, I'm sure we can all tell that we all have betrayed him. We've done it more than once. And the powerful thing about Holy Week is Jesus can look at this group of traitors and he can eat with them and he can forgive them and go to the cross to forgive them and be raised and reconciled to them. And that's good news for us as we move on and get closer and closer to the crucifixion. Not only do we see that we need to have holy relationships, not only do we see that Jesus values those relationships, not only do we need to see that seeing Jesus clearly means seeing his cross and our need to follow him in self-giving sacrificial service, we also need to see our own failures, our own sins, our own betrayals, and then see clearly that Jesus, knowing our betrayal, goes to the cross so that he can forgive us and establish eternal relationships with us. What a beautiful picture of Jesus, and what a sad picture of us. How wonderful that the triune God would come and give his life for us. And so meditate on that today, my friends. Think about how much we have failed Jesus, how we have betrayed him, and how Jesus, knowing that, having even exposed that to us, knowing it beforehand, goes and dies for us so that he can have us forever.